Hey babe, it's your girl Brie with Stella Nova 424, aka Brie Big Sis Tarot. I'm coming on today to do a little oracle reading. I know the last time I did a tarot reading, and sometimes I just don't get called to always do tarot. Um, and for some reason, y'all have been loving your feelings are valid deck, and I'm loving it too. It was such a whim purchase that I'm really like, oh, okay, like I'm glad I purchased this. Um, but this deck really helps us like understand the emotions, the depth, the processing. Because I was gonna read from my other oracle deck today, and then I decided I really feel like some of you have been having a hard time with your emotions. I know that I have in a lot of the readings that I've done recently. I did about like 7 or 8 readings over the last like week and a half, and it seems like everyone's on the same page to a certain degree of like there's something within you, your old self, like a fragment of your old self, not the full, but like just a sliver of yourself that you're just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know why I can't let go. I don't know why I can't stop feeling this, or I just don't know. Right. And that's why I'm here today to share with this deck to really just help us understand like what is it that you need to release? What is it that you need to forgive? What is it that you need to help you move on to that new space, the new place, the new you that you're truly looking for? Um, I just keep like seeing in my head like somebody writing on pen and paper. And maybe that's just like a call for you to do some shadow work or maybe brain dump. Just take everything that's in here and dump it out. Because sometimes that's what like causes us like the backup, right? Or our chakras get blocked because you're not speaking it out, or your sacral shocked because you're not feeling safe and secure because you don't trust yourself or your intuition or the universe or whatever it is, right? There's something that's off and you know it. And that's okay, you know? It's okay to be off. You're not meant to be on all the time, bottled up. What did I just say? Like it's all inside of you and you're not releasing it. Like spirit's really guiding you to really release right now. Look at that. Forgive. Here's something I want to point out here. You see how there's this bigger hand and this smaller hand. This bigger hand is really reminiscent for me of your old self. And this new hand is your new self. You really need to forgive your old self for whatever it is. Maybe you felt like you wronged people, or you messed up, or you thought you should have done something different in a situation. But I'm here to remind you that you did not have the tools that you have now when those things happened. And the past is the past, baby. There is no going back and changing it. The only thing that you can do is move forward. And when those choices or decisions have to come up again, you know not to make those choices and decisions, because that is where the real change happens, right? Where the lessons are being learned. Because truthfully, is it you? Is it really you? Or is it you in the sense of like the lessons that you keep learning? They're not necessarily pass and fail. They are, okay, so you're going to have to keep learning this until you get it. Because some of y'all are hard headed. So we got reflection. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure that this is like, here we go. So we have reflection. We also have at peace. I want to go about reflection really quick. See how it's the moon and the sun, and they're like looking at one another here. It's dark and light, duality. That's what I'm feeling here. Spirit really wants you to look at the dark side of yourself as not a bad thing. Sometimes the dark side of yourself is truly a protector, and a protector in a way to situations, places, things, trauma. And That's why you really need to forgive, because that dark side of you did not do it on purpose in the sense of harm or pain or suffering. It did that to save you. And you will, once you reflect and forgive and release what you need to release, that's when you'll finally feel at peace. That's when you're able to move forward and move through and understand that you truly cannot get to where you want to be. Like this last little sliver, this last little bit of you cannot get to where it needs to be until you let go. And the forgiveness is just like it is just like pouring out of me. Like they want you to forgive yourself so bad so that you can move on in a way that truly is actually helping you get to the other side, because holding on to the past does nothing but hold you down. Nurture. I want to talk about this with this. When you are at peace, that is the time where you really need to nurture yourself. Actually, you need to nurture yourself in this process of forgiveness and the reflection, because shadow work does require a lot of emotions. It does require a lot of energy, and it's difficult. It is difficult reliving some of those emotions, releasing those emotions, really trying to understand them, especially when they've been pushed down for so long. You really need to nurture yourself, and nurture in the sense of like, you need to take care of yourself. You need to stay consistent with the journaling. You need to stay consistent with your skincare or hair care or showering or hanging out with friends or whatever it is that really nurtures you. Good books, maybe movies, something nostalgic. I keep saying like Disney movies, like old school, like 90s, like Lion King, Aladdin. Like maybe you just need a little childhood reminiscing, to really feel better. That's so interesting that I'm seeing Disney, because my daughter loves Hakuna Matata from Lion King, and I loved that when I was her age as well. And it's just so funny how like stuff can transcend generation after generation. And I feel like some of the stuff that you have to like let go of is not just about you, it's about like the generational curses, trauma. I know for myself, like I've had to handle understanding my family in a completely different way. They're not just my family that I'm upset with, right? They're my family who are also people. They're people that didn't get the chance to actually understand their own trauma. They have childhood wounds, teenage wounds, early adulthood wounds that have never been healed, but truly forsaken and pushed deep, deep, deep. And I'm lucky. I'm grateful that I've had the opportunity to handle my own so that I don't pass that on to my own daughter. Because breaking generational curses was a huge thing for me. And now I'm really understanding in a whole new way, in a whole new light, that no matter who it is, whether it's family, friends, whoever, these people are around you as lessons, as mirrors, as reflections, but also just for you to realize that these are people too. And I'm not saying to just forgive the trauma that they inflicted on you, or especially if they're abusive or anything like that. No, that's not what I mean. It's easier to let go when you realize that it's not just your mom, it's not just your dad, it's not just your sister, brother, aunt, uncle, grandma, whoever, right? That these are people that, yes, they hurt you, but you can move on knowing my boundaries will no longer take that. Moving and knowing I'm not going to surround myself with somebody that cannot take accountability. Jealousy. I think your jealousy is it's within certain dynamics. Like I keep seeing like you watching like TV, or you're on your phone, you're on TikTok, Instagram, whatever, and you see people living their life and you're like, man, I wish that was me. Like, man, I wish I had that. Or man, I wish if only I had this, if only I had the money, if only I had the camera, if only I had the space, the place, the aesthetic. Anxiety. I think you're overthinking it, right? See how this like is all chaos. You're overthinking it. Like, the jealousy that you're feeling is causing you to have anxiety. And that's not where they want you to be. They don't want you to feel like, sorry, it's all like coming in at once. So I'm trying to like decipher it here. They don't want you to be jealous when you see these people online. They want you to see these people online and be like, yeah, that's going to be me. Because it, whatever it is that you're trying to like put out into the world, right? It is a dream, a daydream, a thought, a part of the process from your higher self. It's like breadcrumbs from like Hansel and Gretel to tell you where you can and should be. Those daydreams don't just happen for no reason. The thought processes of like, oh, I want to be this, or oh, I should be this, or oh, I need this. They're For years, I have been talking about how I want to be in front of the camera, that I want to have my own TV show or my own podcast or any of those things. And I've had 2 or 3 podcasts at this point, but none of them stuck. None of them really. I know I'm always supposed to have a community. I knew I was supposed to help people because that was something that I deeply wanted to do. And I did not get this feeling of real purpose until I stepped into my shoes right here and right now of helping people with these divination tools and using my gift to truly help others. Because to do so required me to go through my own journey to get here. And when I say my own journey, I mean I've lost it all, but I've also gained everything in the same process. And it's crazy the duality I've been feeling. It's crazy how stuff is just coming in, coming in, coming in. The more that I sit down and I work on myself and I work on my fears and I work on my pain and I work on my suffering. And when I say work, we're talking, this has been 4 years, 4.5 years in the making of getting here. And I'm still in my parents' basement. But that's okay. It's okay, because I know that this journey is going to take me to exactly where I want to be. But to be there is going to require me and that little sliver of my old self to truly be done. Because when I step into my new life fully, that old life is going to feel like a daydream, a hay dream, if you will. Scarlet fever. You really have to be intentional. We have the anger card and the happiness card. It feels like you have a lot of bottled up anger, and it's blocking you from the happiness that you deserve. And I feel like sometimes we think that anger is a bad thing, and it can be when it's to a very utmost extreme, right? When it's like you're raging out on people, you're putting hands on people, like stuff like that. Those are extremes. Harming yourself, harming others. Those are extremes of rage and anger. That I feel the rage, like that is like coming through right now. And they want you to feel it. You can't keep bottling it up. You can't keep hiding it and hiding it and hiding it, because it's causing like a reflux, like a regurgitation, like it comes up some way, shape, or form. And they don't want that, because it comes up bad timing, right? They want you to have this happiness, but you cannot have happiness without any of the other emotions, right? Happiness, anger, sadness, sorrow, jealousy. None of those exist without the other. You can't always be happy. You can't always be jealous. You can't always be angry. And maybe you're just mad at yourself. That's what's really coming through right now. It's hard for you to forgive yourself because you're mad at yourself. Stop being mad. It's like if you looked at like a little kid, right? And they like spilled milk or whatever. And I've known plenty of people that when they did that, their parent like slapped the hell out of them or cussed them out or made them feel awful. And then you got older and you look at a 5-year-old and you're like, I don't understand how anybody could do that. They didn't know better. That's what I'm feeling. Like spirit is like trying to tell you, like, you are still that 5-year-old, but you are now becoming the adult that 5-year-old needed. And that's a good thing. That's a really good thing, because if someone like myself, where I am now, told my younger self to be confident and to be vocal and to go for your dreams and do what's best for you and not be a people pleaser and do it, fill your own cup, I wouldn't have had, this 10-year time span where I was just so burnt out and I hated my life. But it taught me some really valuable lessons. I became the adult that my younger self truly needed. And I'm thankful for that, because I now get to help people, and not just me. I get to help other people that were like me, that are part of my collective, that truly are looking for something bigger, better, bolder in this world, but they just don't necessarily know how to get it. And I'm here to help with clarity. I am here to help fill in some of the puzzle pieces, to fill in some of the gaps, to guide you in a place that it is helping you be clear. It's helping you understand, but doing so in a way that is like a big sis. Yeah, I'm going to be real, but I'm also going to guide you in this process. Gratitude. I love when this card comes out. And as I was shuffling, I was giving my gratitude. I think sometimes we forget to really love where we are in this moment. I think we really forget about how great some of the stuff that we do have. Like, I have a roof over my head. My daughter has her formula. She has her food. I have food. We have gas in the car. We have a warm home. We have water. Like, there's so much to be grateful for. I am so grateful for my friends, because my friends are truly like my family. They're my chosen family. And I have a lot of half siblings, and they're much older than me. So I didn't really I wasn't raised with them. Like, everyone is like at least 6, 10, 12 years older than me. So there was a lot of time gap, if you will. But I got to choose my friends. I got to choose the people that have been a part of my life since I was 11. I have people that have been in my life since I was 11 years old. What a blessing. Seriously, what a gift. And I would trust them with my life, with my daughter's life. One of them is the godmother to my child. And I would never change that. I would never change that for the world. I'm getting like emotional thinking about it. Relieved. I think once you have that gratitude and you like sit down and you journal it, or maybe you speak it out, maybe a voice note, maybe just even speaking the gratitude to the people, places, things that you're grateful for, you're going to start feeling that relief, that bottled up anxiety. Because you see how they both have like all of this turmoil, stress, pain, suffering, all of it's within this space. Once you release that, it's going to be clear. It's going to be good. It's going to be fresh, a release, a relief, right? Especially with the reflection. You have to reflect on these things so that you can move forward and actually feel the happiness. Because that's what you're meant to do. You're meant to feel happy. You're meant to enjoy this life. Because what is the point of coming here if we're miserable the entire time? Seriously, why would anybody want to be here if you were just completely miserable this entire lifespan, however long that may be? Whether if it's 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, 70, 80, that's a long time to be miserable. And, I've seen so many interviews of people, especially older people, where they're like, if you could tell your younger self, like, what would be advice? And they're always like, live your life. Go, travel, see the world, tell the person you love them, forgive those people, because they're sitting there 60, 50, and 70, 80 years later and they're miserable, or they don't have people around them, or they're struggling because they were just horrible people, or horrible to people, or just they were having such a hard life. You don't want to be that. I'm 30 and I don't want to be that. I already spent a good portion of my 20s, basically all of my 20s, hating life. And I don't want that. And I definitely don't want that for my daughter. I'm going to shuffle one more time, but it seems like the message has come through. Um, it just really feels like this energy of just sitting down. Yeah, love. You gotta love where you're at. You gotta love yourself. You gotta love the people around you and love your life. Manic. You know what this card, the manic card, hold on. Here we go. This manic card has been coming up a lot in readings. And I don't necessarily think it is mania in the sense of like certain disorders, but it feels manic because this is what your head looks like, right? The internal of your head. Chaos, confusion, stress. You don't know where one line begins and one line ends. And that, you cannot move forward when it looks like that. It's like a pit. One of the examples, like the military courses where they like go through these trainings and go through the mud and all these other things and the monkey bars and this, that, and the third. But then you finally get to the wall and it's just a giant wall standing in front of you. That is what this feels like. This is your wall, which causes you to feel like this. But to get there, to clear it, you have to have some gratitude. You have to forgive. You need to reflect and just release, but also take care of yourself. Take care of yourself in whatever way that looks like for you. And hell, that might be cutting people off. Maybe just putting your phone on DND for a couple of hours. You're not going on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, any social media platforms. You're taking the time for yourself. You're really healing yourself. You're really sitting in your emotions, because I hate to break it to you, no matter how far you push those emotions down and you bottle it up, it always comes out, no matter what. It might not be today, but it will be sometime in your life. And would you rather deal with it today, or would you rather wait another 20, 30, 50 years down the line to handle what you need to handle? Nah, not me. No ma'am. Because for me, the time is now to move forward and understand I can have the peace and happiness that I'm looking for as long as I am truly letting go and forgiving myself and giving myself the grace that I give other people. And I think that's where Spirit is leading you today. So get your pen and paper out, brain dump everything that's been going on, release it into the world, and know that once you let it go, everything else will start coming in for you. It's a slow and steady race, but just know you'll get where you need to be. Thanks for checking out the channel. Thanks for watching. If you're looking for a reading yourself, I currently do have a sale going on. For every reading, whether if it is tarot, oracle, combo, or an intuitive pick by me, it is $42. So if you're looking for that, make sure to click the link in the description and go ahead and schedule that. I accept all forms of payment, and if there is a different form of payment that you're looking for, just DM me, message me, leave a comment, and I will reach out to you and let you know how you can get to me. But if you truly believe that this reading was meant for you, and you think you need a little bit more in-depth, please reach out, please. Because I've been feeling for weeks now with all of these different readings, sorry, that's my daughter, that there's some of you that have been truly waiting and hoping and trying to figure out on your own, but you're not necessarily seeing the picture. But I am a vessel to help you understand and get the clarity that you need. So please, hit me up, Stella Nova 424. It's on my beacons, and it's in the description. It's on my Instagram, it's on TikTok, all of the above. So go ahead, check me out, and subscribe and like this video. Thanks, babe.